Hello, borders are still closed and I still have nothing new to show you. Maybe next time I will get something, but maybe not. So today I will show you FiiO DAPs that I own and we'll talk about the recent M line of FiiO's DAPs. Really successful and really broad line of models offering different solutions in different price range with different features. And let's talk about them. I don't have M7 and M5 with me, but I will tell a few words about them too anyway. And all other actual models I have, and we'll talk about them and I'll cover them a little bit. Of course, it's not a detailed review or it's not a comparison, it's just an overview of this model lineup. Maybe I'll try to add some subjective thoughts about these models, but there won't be an answer like what model should I buy or something like that. Just my subjective thoughts, nothing objective, nothing more. And now let's go on. Let's probably start in number ascending and price ascending order. It's not 100% corresponding, but anyway, let's see them one by one. And we'll start with FiiO M3 Pro. It's actually the most recent model. It's FiiO's new update for the affordable lineup, and actually it's a really bold move and a bold statement. If we move back a few years into the past, actually M line started with M3. Small, nice plastic player made by FiiO with price about $50 or $60. Actually, it was the only model by FiiO that came with earbuds in stock. It was pretty good, offering long work time, small size, and pretty nice engaging sound. Unfortunately, it was pretty coldly welcomed by the community because due to the limited processor, it has some firmware limitations. For me, it wasn't something critical, but anyway. Later, FiiO released M3K. It was bigger, more powerful, and so on. And actually, at least at local market, it's still pretty popular solution for those who need a separate player, like some substitution for the smartphone, for example. But M3 Pro, at least for me, it's a bit different thing because for $80, its price of this player about $80. It has cool build quality, nice design, and I think it's it's a gadget that is pleasant to own. So you can see I recently made a review, but anyway, aluminum frame. Hope they will release some additional colors in the future. Hardware control buttons, USB-C for charging, and also you can use it as digital to analog converter, you can use it as a digital transport, so everything. Headphones out, micro SD slot, and the biggest feature of this DAP, big screen with resolution 380 by 800 points, so definitely the best screen in the affordable DAPs lineup. So nice viewing angles, good brightness, it's actually sensor screen, and a lot of additional features that FiiO decided to add, like sound recording, gallery, calculator, and even ebook reader. In terms of sound quality, here used ES9218 as digital to analog converter, popular system on chip nowadays, unifying digital to analog converter and amplifier. So it delivers about 75 milliwatts for 32 ohms load, so nice figures. Work time starts with 13 hours and more, so pretty durable in this aspect, and it's nice resolving a player with a bit of added weight, so nothing super powerful or super resolving like these DAPs, but anyway, for this size it's a really decent player. Also, it has an effective efficient sleep mode. Actually, all the FiiO DAPs has that, and it's another nice feature. So it just started appearing in the markets all over the world, so probably it will gather more attention recently, and I really suppose that it will become popular because, you know, I like this design, I like this style. It's a perfect player for this summer. Who know, or not sure if we'll have a lot of chance to work somewhere or to travel, but anyway, it's a good DAP for daily commute, for active usage. So only minus is actually lacking of Bluetooth, but I'm sure that it's because FiiO wanted to fit this price tier, $80, and with buying Bluetooth chip and all necessary licenses, this player definitely will go above $100, and it would make it not competitive. For those who need wireless connectivity, FiiO released M5. Its price is about $100. It's small, actually, like it's like sizes about this one. So it's a rectangle with 45mm side. It actually can be used as some kind of watch, so you can wear. There is a case with a wristband, so you can use it as watch for some active usage. And it uses AK4377 as a digital to analog converter, and work time is about 10 hours or more, but its strongest feature, of course, it's a full set of Bluetooth codecs, including LDAC, aptX, and so on, and it supports them both as a transmitter and as a receiver, so a lot of connectivity options. In terms of sound, actually it's a bit simpler than this one, but all still pretty good. So if you need something to use as a wireless transport, so M5 is a good option. But if you don't need Bluetooth, M3 Pro is actually a bit better option in terms of sound, a bit more natural and a bit more resolving. So nice DAP, but M5 of course smaller and has Bluetooth, so if you need that, it's also an option. Next player, you know, surprised me most of all, because I still think that it's the best DAP under $200. You know, it's a subjective evaluation, so I prefer it most of all. I like it more than AP80, R3 Pro and other players, and probably not mainly, but also because of how much stuff FiiO managed to put into such a small body. So just check it out. So it's really small. Here is a comparison with M3 Pro. So it's tiny DAP, but it has Android on board, it has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth with different codecs. Price is about $150 or $160, something like that. And it's small, compact, pretty long living, so more than 11 or 12 hours, depending on the load. And of course, Wi-Fi reduces this figure, so it's pretty expectable. And power is about 70 milliwatts for 32 ohms load, so like the new M3 Pro, but it uses Android, so you can install different software, you can install different music services, Tidal, Spotify, and so on and so forth. So it's pretty surprising for such a small device, and actually it supports offline mode and all necessary stuff. And some people of course complain about the speed, but for me, you know, it's okay, it's pretty acceptable level of speed. So it's not the fastest DAP, of course, and some not superbly optimized applications works a bit slow, but I can forgive it for such a small size and all other given features. But of course it's a matter of preferences also. In terms of sound, it's a step forward comparing with M3 Pro. It's a bit more mature with a bit more impactful sound, a bit more natural with better staging. For sound here responsible ES92, no, not 92, ES9018 Q2M or Q2C, don't remember the exact number, so it's 9018, and it delivers a nice, pretty good sound for of course for its price. But anyway, good DAP that I really like. It also can work as a receiver, as a transmitter, as digital to analog converter, has a lot of features, pretty good interface with FiiO's signature FiiO music player. So everything that you can desire for a small device. So also pretty nice screen with good viewing angles, nice resolution, firmware updates time to time, so I really like this small. Next player in this lineup was actually the first DAP where FiiO tried their new approach with Exynos chipsets. It's FiiO M7. It's debuted with price about $220 and it was a bit bigger than M6, probably closer to M9, just a bit smaller than M9, but closer to its size and proportions. It offered all that features like USB-C for charging, Exynos chipset, Android under the hood, Bluetooth with all codecs, and actually it has also FM radio, so for those who like the radio it's a nice option. But unfortunately it didn't have the Wi-Fi connectivity and no options to install the application, so its usage was limited and many people were disappointed. It also uses 9018 as digital to analog converter, but power is slightly below M6. It's just 40 milliwatts for 32 ohms load, but at the same time its strong side is extended battery lifetime. It can work for 20 hours and even more, and combined with efficient sleep mode that all FiiO DAPs have, it's a really good offer for the everyday usage. In terms of sound, it's a bit lacking power of M6, so it's a bit worse in terms of controls of low frequencies and a bit more focusing and it's a bit brighter, so let's say so. But besides that, it's also pretty nice sounding DAP, especially paired with sensitive in-ear monitors. And some time ago FiiO actually released M7K version with Wi-Fi and probably with possibility to install applications, but as I understand it wasn't released worldwide, so it's not available on the global market, or at least I didn't source them. And currently M7 price is about $160, so same as for M6. And you know, it makes M7 more competitive because it's a really long-lasting player with a pretty decent sound, good for everyday usage. And if you need something with Bluetooth and long work time, it's a pretty decent offer. So FiiO's next attempt using this hardware was M9. Its release price was $300, but current price is $250, and actually for $250 it's a pretty decent offer. So it's also a pretty small player, but using some Samsung Exynos chipset as M6 and M7 does. But here FiiO improved audio stack, so here used double AK4490 as digital to analog converter, and amplification here improved, so it delivers more than 170 milliwatts for 32 ohms load from single-ended output and more than 220 from balanced output. It has balanced output, so battery lifetime is more than 10 hours. Also, I don't remember actually exact figure. If I remember right, something like 10 hours from single-ended out and like 9 hours from balanced out or more. Also, it has this limited version of Android, so you can install only applications from whitelist. But actually, if I remember right, recently they released the firmware that allows you to install applications that are not whitelisted, so you can activate it and install every application that could be compatible. No Google Play services here, so you need to sideload APKs, but still it's a working option. As you can see, it's a bit bigger, but pretty decent player with a touch of warmer signature, but with more power, and actually it's, you know, it's a bit underestimated to my taste, because it's for $250, it's a pretty nice option. And I can't recall the other DAPs in this price range. Also features Bluetooth with all codecs, USB digital analog converter mode, receiver, transmitter, all that stuff is present here. So of course it would be nice to see bigger screen here, because you can see that screen is almost the same as used in M6, but bezels are much bigger. So it didn't become the huge bestseller by FiiO, but it definitely delivered worthy features and pretty nice sound. And then FiiO released the DAP that became a bestseller and grabbed tons of attention, and actually it's M11. I think everyone knows about it. Maybe it's not absolute everything killer, but it's one of the best performing DAPs in this price range. And it was surprising that after releasing few slower than average DAPs, FiiO released the fastest DAP on market available right now. Here also used the Samsung Exynos chipset, but not 72 something, but 78 something, and with 3 gigabytes of RAM, if I remember right. So now the FiiO DAPs deliver enough of power to run all software and all necessary applications. So they are fast, they are almost flawless, and actually delivers tons of features. So of course it became bigger. It has this signature design. Probably let's open it. I didn't take it out for quite a long time. Also nice case by DD Hi-Fi. So this a bit reminding Aston Kern design, nice black color, good angles, and pretty nice almost edge to edge screen with bigger size, and in terms of actually foundation like screen, RAM, chipset, everything is good. And also everything is pretty good in terms of sound. Here I use double AK4493 as digital to analog converter and improved amplification. Now it delivers more than 200 milliwatts from single-ended output and more than 500 milliwatts from balanced outputs. As you can see here, you can get 2.5 millimeter and Pentacon, so universal. USB-C supports quick charge, so all that stuff is present here. Really long work time, about 12-13 hours from single-ended output and more than 9 hours from balanced out. For such a powerful device, it's good figures. Also here supported Wi-Fi, Bluetooth with different codecs and all that other stuff. What else I can say about it? So from the start it didn't have Google Play services and Google Play Store, but in recent firmwares FiiO added it, so now you can just install the applications, you can install UAPP and all other applications that you like, and it's another good plus for it. In terms of sound, I like it. It's natural, really resolving, and probably the most focused on the micro contrast and detalization DAP in this price range, or Android DAP in this price range, because there are like iBus or DX120, for example. It's even a bit more focused. So it's for those who like natural, uncolored, resolving sound. I did a lot of comparisons of this player, so you can see them on my channel versus different other DAPs. So I still frequently use it because I like that you can pause it and put on shelf, and in the morning just hit play and it will start playback. I really like this feature still. Next one is FiiO M11 Pro. As you can guess by the model's name, it's just upgraded version of M11. So all the same in terms of screen, chipset, memory, and so on and so forth. Basically all the same features, just they removed one microSD slot, so just one microSD slot here. This one had two of them, but increased amount of flash memory. If I remember right, it has 64 gigabytes, while this one has 32. And besides that, same screen, controls, usability, design, just a bit different color of the case. And what was improved, of course, it's the sound. So here I used double 4497 as a digital to analog converter, and amplification here is done with THX AAA technology, and it was a definitely improvement. If I remember figures right, power is about the same as this one, not sure about that actually. Work time was a bit reduced, up from 11 hours from single-ended output and from 8 hours from balanced out, but of course it's a price you have to pay for much more advanced amplification and actually much more power consuming digital to analog converter. Its price is $450, and you know it's kind of direct proportion in terms of price and sound quality improvement. So it's a bit less focused on the micro contrast, but it's more impactful, more energetic, with better emotions, with better treble layering. So lot of small improvements that overall gives you kind of a step forward in terms of sound. And you know, FiiO managed to deliver noticeable sonic improvement. And THX AAA is a popular technology, so all that features that it gives is present here. Blacker background also here implemented, so it's working better with sensitive in-ear monitors. And in general, like, you know, it's more mature sound with better staging, with more energy, with more emotions, and so on. And of course the most expensive, the biggest, the boldest statement DAP from FiiO, it's M15. It's their flagship. Price is $1,300, the biggest for the FiiO. But you know what I like about the FiiO, they usually try to deliver as much as possible, as much value as possible. In terms of chipset and screen, here used same screen and chipset as in M11s, but FiiO tried to squish as much as possible. So here use double AK4499 as digital to analog converters, same as in recent Aston Kern SP2000 flagship, and powerful amplification. There is a special full-size headphones mode, so it can deliver about 500 milliwatts for 32 ohms load from single-ended out, and more than 800 milliwatts for 32 ohms load from the balanced out. So crazy powerful. And what is also good here, they used a separate XMOS chip for the USB digital to analog converter mode, and CSR 8675 for the Bluetooth receiver mode and transmitter. So if you need receiver mode, you connect it to the pure receiver mode, and this chip is directly connected to digital to analog converter and amplification. And same applies to USB digital to analog converter mode, so no need to use firmware, and it delivers the best possible options in the receiver and in the USB digital to analog converter mode. And also there is programmable button, here is microSD slot, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, it's bigger, it has bigger battery, about 15 hours of work in the single-ended mode, and about 9 hours or more in balanced out. And in terms of sound, of course, it's also noticeable step comparing with M11, and it's resolving dynamic, but FiiO made accent on the weight and on the added impact. So you know, it's probably one of the most energetic DAPs in this flagship tire. Also, I need to admit, unusual analog hybrid volume control. So it's analog potentiometer, but when you rotate it, it drives the analog to digital converter, and it converted to the digital form and then used for the volume control. So nice step from the FiiO, really good, worthy flagship. If you're interested in more details, I created a separate review about it. So it was my collection of FiiO DAPs. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.